So the determine I, the interest rate when the A double dot NI superscript 4 is equal to 10. And the A double dot 2N, right angle 2N, the superscript 4 is 14, and the determine I. So we have the two annuities. So both annuities have the quarterly payments. So M-thly payments, so quarterly payments. And the interest rates are the same, and the maturity, I mean, the lengths of the annuities are different. So one is N and the other is 2N. And the 2N, basically the cash flow is the twice as large. So basically the annuity pays the twice as much if we ignore the time. But the present value is only 40% larger. And that is possible because for longer annuities, it accumulates more interest. So the payment amount is larger in total. Okay, so we want to calculate I. And basically, this is the equation that the system of equations. We have the two parameters, N and I, and we have two equations. So we should be able to solve it for N and I. Yeah, so, but you can see that this is a little bit complicated because we have double dots. And also we have the superscript 4. So we will use the theorem to cancel the double dots and superscript M. Okay, so solution. So at first we take the ratio, then we can cancel it. So A double dot 2N superscript 4 over A double dot right angle N superscript 4. So this is equal to 14 over 10. But okay, so before that, so this is equal to actually the 1 minus the v to the power 2n over 1 minus v to the power n. Okay. So we have, originally we have the I superscript m here, I superscript m here, but these okay, so these terms they cancel. Okay, so we don't need it. So this is actually the 1 plus the v to the power n. So we don't really exactly use the theorem, but we use the idea of the proof of the theorem. So this is equal to actually the 14 over 10. So I would say, so 1 plus the v to the power n is equal to 14 over 10. That is 1.4. So that is the v to the power n is 0.4. So even though we don't know I and n, the v to the power n is equal to 0.4. So now the plug in this quantity in one of the equation. Maybe we can plug in the first equation. So here. So plug in these two, this equation, I would say this one. Then what happens? So A double dot the right angle n superscript 4 is 10. So that is by formula, the 1 minus 0.4, 1 minus v to the power n over the d superscript 4 is equal to 10. Okay, so this is equal to 10. Okay, so now that we can derive what is the D superscript 4. So this is the 0.6 over D superscript 4 is equal to 10. So that is the D superscript 4 is equal to 0.06. So we have the 6% discount. Now we want to see I finally, so that we have to translate this D superscript 4 into I. So at first the D superscript 4 to D. So 1 minus the D superscript 4 over 4. At first we should have this shape, and this is equal to 0.985. Yeah. So this superscript 4 is equal to 0.06. That means basically every quarter we have 1.5% discount. For 1 year we have 6% discounts, but this is the rate which compounds 4 times a year. So that is the every quarter that we compound, we discount the 1.5%. Okay, so then what is 1 minus D? 1 minus D is defined. 1 minus D is by definition 1 minus the D superscript 4 over 4 to the 4th power. Okay, so this is the definition of D superscript 4. And okay, so this is equal to the 0.985 to the 4th power. And if you calculate it, then this is, okay, so this is equal to 0.9413. So now we go to D. Then we can calculate V. V is 1 minus D. So the V is equal to 0.9413. So once you get to V, then you can see the V is 1 over 1 plus I. So this is 1 over 1 plus I. So maybe I would say that the V is equal to 1 over 1 plus I. So 1 minus D is equal to V, and the V is equal to 1 over 1 plus I. So that means I is equal to the 1 over the 0.9413 minus 1. So we can just do some algebra. We multiply 1 plus I on the both sides, divide by 0.9413. Then we move the constant term 1. Then I is equal to 0.0623 or 6.23%. So this is the answer for I. Yeah, so how about N? Actually, we can also calculate N. We have 2 equations for 2 unknowns, N and I. So that we can derive the N. Actually, since the V to the power N is equal to 0.4, so that means, okay, so V is equal to the 0.9413. So 0.9413 to the nth power is equal to 0.4. So that means if we take logarithm, N is equal to the log of 0.4 over a log of 0.9413, and we get this is equal to 15.15. So N is 15.15 and the 2N is equal to 30.3. So you can see that this question is probably inspired by the 15-year and the 30-year mortgages. So those are the most common mortgages in United States. So you can see what does this question mean. So the 15-year mortgage and the 30-year mortgage. Okay, so even though the 30-year mortgage, you have to pay the amount, the same amount for the twice as many times as the 15 years mortgage, but still the present value is only 1.4 times larger. Okay, so even if you pay 30 years, the same amount, still you can get the only 40% more loan. Okay, so if you buy $1 million house for 15 years mortgage, sorry, the 1 million house, 15 years mortgage, and the $1.4 million house, the 30-year mortgage, the monthly payments are the same. Okay, so 1 million, 15 years, and 1.4 million, 30 years. So monthly payments are the same. I mean, the quarterly payments are the same. So you have to pay twice as much for 30 years mortgage, but you get the 40% more present value. So because you have to pay a lot of interest.